What is up? I'm the AC, and this is Nintendo. Now, originally, I planned on doing a little experimental gameplay, more with Pokemon and such, but then Nintendo's Indie World um, Direct came out. I was like, I'll give them a break from Pokemon. It's only been a few hours, so it's still fresh in my mind, and that's why I'm making this video instead. Because, one, I'm glad Nintendo is supporting indie titles. I mean, pretty much the Switch is a portable indie machine, anyways, as everyone has seen. But yeah, there's some great indie games, and Nintendo realizes it. Now they're marketing it, they're giving it its own direct. Good. And not only that, the other thing I really like about it is before some of these titles were, you know, their trailer was shown, they had some of the developers talking about the games too. One such being Bacon Switch. They had a humorous little intro before their trailer. But yeah, so that's what I'm really liking about the direction Nintendo is taking towards indies. They're great. I've played plenty. I think whenever I first got my Switch, I just downloaded a handful anyways, and that's why I mainly played. I played Splatoon 2, and then the rest was all indie games. And it's great. And watching what I watched this morning, I'm probably going to be getting a handful of these new ones too. So, let's start talking about which games caught my eye the most. First off, there's Dauntless. Now, Dauntless has been out for a little bit on the other platforms, but it's finally come to Switch. If you don't know what Dauntless is, more or less, people say it's a Monster Hunter free to play clone. And I'll admit, on that first appearance, yeah, it's pretty much looks like a Monster Hunter clone. You fight big monsters with weapons, you team up with three other people, you can play online, blah blah blah, you can do all that stuff. But once you actually start playing it, right away you realize this is a completely different game, more or less. Of course, there's still similarities, um, but they change names of weapons. The art style is completely different. I mean, it's also an Epic's game, so they have the Epic interface, the whole battle, or just the whole art style and whatever. But yeah, it's also cross-platform, which is great. The game also released um, right at the end of the direct. So I of course immediately downloaded it. One, because I love Monster Hunter. I played Monster Hunter Generations on my 3DS. I didn't get it for my Switch again because I felt it was similar, and I'll play my 3DS still anyways. So I didn't see a need. Um, they didn't bring World over to Switch, and I mean, I guess understand why. But until they release another Monster Hunter game on the Switch, this is a great alternative. Um, so far, I've played a few stuff, a few little hunts and whatever, and I'm not going to get too much into details or reviewing it too far. Maybe I'll do some gameplays of it because what I have played, I've really enjoyed. But just overall, for some reason, in the hub or the lobby town, wherever they call it in the game, uh, it's really laggy. I don't know why. But when you go and actually hunt, you don't even notice any lag, or I didn't. If there was any, it didn't interfere with me any, so I didn't notice it. But yeah, that's Dauntless. I'm really glad um, they put it out today. It gives me something to do, especially since I'm going to try to start doing gameplay videos. This is perfect timing. I was going to do Pokemon, but I think this is a little more exciting. So we'll see what I do with this. Another game that caught my eye is Sports Story. This is releasing exclusively to the Switch apparently in mid 2020, and it's the sequel to Golf Story. And I never played Golf Story. I thought it sounded ridiculous because I'm not into the golf that much, but I heard great things about it, and I kind of regret not getting it now when I first got my Switch. Um, then I, for some reason, did get Stardew Valley, and I was like, oh, these kind of seem to have a similar vibe. So I'm probably going to get Sports Story. I'm starting to get more into those kind of games too, especially since I really like Stardew Valley. Not the same game, but So this game just seems to be a mashup of a bunch of different stores, and literally like a mashup. I think you've seen in the trailer a tennis court with a soccer goal. I don't know. It looks really interesting. Um, but speaking of the Stardew Valley kind of feel, another game that caught my eye was the Survivalist, coming out in 2020 also. Now, the Survivalist is another just sandbox game. You know, it's a co-op survival game. Takes place in the same universe that it says as The Escapist, which I did play a little bit a while ago. And then there's just another little thing they show in the trailer of like training their monkeys, which I'm interested to see what that does for you because that just sounds fun. When do monkeys not sound fun? Throwing poo and stuff. You know, I've heard in real life monkeys are assholes, so maybe they're not that great. But I already mentioned it once. Another game, Bacon Switch. How they described it is you fight. It's another co-op experience where you fight dough and then you bake dough. Uh, it kind of reminds me of like a more actiony Overcooked, which I love Overcooked. So depending on if I can see anything else about this game, I'm probably gonna get it too. I've been really big into indie, so a lot of these games I'm just really interested in. But it didn't look exactly like Overcooked. It didn't have that whole premise. I guess just the baking aspect of it and the co-op. Um, the fighting part is a little interesting too. I guess that's where it really changes it up. Let's see the other game that kind of caught my attention. It's just mainly because of what one of the developers said. It's Super Match, coming out in May 2020. Uh, it's a game about making another game by combining two genres, two other game styles, and it was interesting because even the person who announced the game gave their own little code and was like, "Hey, if you get this game, check this code out. This is what we made." So that's interesting. Even though technically a game is already something the developers or people are already marketing to you, anyways, the fact that they put a game in a game, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Um, and then next is Sell Forth. Um, I guess it's a selling game, kind of like a pirate game, I guess, with procedurally generated maps. Um, I don't remember too much what they said the actual game is, but it's like Battle Pirates and so forth. Any other kind of selling game. I'm really interested in this one, mainly because I like selling games. I liked um, Wind Waker, and I've also played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Um, a long time ago, I played the Pirates of the Caribbean game on computer. Can't remember what it was actually called, but that was fun. I don't know. I really like selling games, but I like pirates in general. Uh, Also, another really cool looking one. I don't know exactly how great the gameplay is going to be, but artistically and the design of the gameplay looks interesting at least. It's Liberated. It's apparently going to be first exclusive to the Switch in 2020. But it's a pretty cool concept, I think. It's made to look like you're playing a graphic novel. And from what they show in the trailer, it looks like each scene is going to be like part of a graphic novel as it continues on. So that's going to be really interesting. But yeah, that is the ones that caught my eye. The ones I'm probably going to really consider buying. But there is more. In total, they showed 16 different games. So I'm just going to go over those real quick. Um, Street of Rage 4. Never played the, I guess, other three, but that comes out the first half of 2020. There is um, Gleamlight coming out in early 2020. A weird thing they said about that is playing it with no words in the game. I was like, okay, that's interesting, I guess. Um, Talos Principle Deluxe Edition, some kind of puzzle game I haven't heard of before. It came out today also, just like Dauntless. And by today, I mean the day the direct happened. This video is probably going to come out the next day after the direct happened, so you can do a little calendar searching for what I'm talking about. Then there is Murder by Numbers coming out early 2020. Don't know much about that. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath coming out January 2020. Skatebird, that looked amusing. It's literally the name. It comes out late 2020, and it's pretty much just looks like your bird skating. I love skateboarding games. Haven't played one in a really long time. Probably not since like I think the last time I played a skating game was like on the PSP. Like what was it, Project 8, something like that. Yeah, I haven't played one in a long time. But I loved Underground 2. That's one of my all-time favorite games. Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Oh man. Then there is um, Fall 2020 Axiom Verge 2. Didn't play the first one either. So, we'll see what that is. And Dreamscaper, another first exclusive coming out in, to the Switch for early 2020. Don't know anything about that. And then lastly, one of the weirder looking ones. I don't know, it might be fun. I think it's just the whole uh, way they're marketing the game. It's Boyfriend Dungeon. And I was like, oh, okay, that looks interesting. It comes out in 2020 also. I don't know. It looks more funny than it is a serious game. But yeah, we'll see. Um, yeah, but overall, some great games, great indie games coming. Um, and if you haven't watched their direct yet, I'll include a link in my video. You can go watch it. But if you have watched it already, which titles are you most looking forward to? I already said mine. My number one might actually be Sports Story. We'll see. Um, Self Worth is also really interesting. But yeah, let's know. And I'm already playing Dauntless a little, so of course that's a given. But hopefully, even though I said this last time, I'll have some actual gameplay next week. I already have an idea. I want to do a tour of my Pokemon and what I'm doing on that. So that might be Wednesday, next Wednesday. Um, I'm also planning on doing those on Wednesdays, more talking with a little bit of gameplay. And then on Thursdays, I'll do a full, like at least an hour worth of gameplay of whatever game I decide to play that week. You know, just a little something to dip my toe into some gameplay action. Who knows? But thanks for watching this. I'm the AC. Bye.